Hey everyone, it's Becky Hoffman from the Research to Practice team. This is just a quick video to orient you to the approved tool list that was released as part of the PD Leadership Forums at the end of April. Before we begin, I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the vision and the funding that made this work possible. We are proud to say that it was a collaboration that included input from the Birth to 3 program workforce. All of the materials that we have developed to support your understanding of this list can be found on the CESA 5 resource temporary PD webpage. The tool list is currently arranged as a spreadsheet. The version being shared is meant to be informative, but also usable and practical. So we did our very best to summarize the relevant details. You can imagine that there's a wealth of other information that we gathered over the many months doing multiple reviews, scrutinizing a variety of details for over 55 tools. We have this available if you need more information or are wondering about particular tools. I will first share what I call the key for the tool list as a way to acclimate you to the details that will be provided. For each tool on the list, there will be a description. This is brief and is mostly from the publisher's summary of the tool. We will also provide references and links with more information. There will also be a domain specified. This tells you what the tool assesses. For the purposes of this list, comprehensive means that it assesses all of the 5 main areas of development. There will also be a purpose designated. This highlights the intended use of the tool in our early intervention process in Wisconsin. I will explain a little more about how we define these in just a minute. The rating column contains the average score of each of the 6 factors from the hexagon tool that was described in the video that accompanies these materials. Factors include need, evidence, fit, capacity, usability, and support. Each is rated from 1 to 5, with 1 being least and 5 best for each factor. You will also see a green, yellow, or red color code in this category, which I will explain further in just a minute. There's a caution category, and this is intended to provide some practical guidance or reasons for caution about tools that were deemed to be in the yellow or red rating category. And then strengths and weaknesses, and this is exactly as you can imagine. It is a few of the pros and cons we discovered about the tools. These were gathered from formal reviews that we looked at for each of the tools, as well as the experiences of the review team and others that we have worked with. We're hoping to gather even more detail from all of you as we move forward. The first thing that I will further define is the purpose categories. We know that there are many tools being used across our state for different purposes. As the R2PP team researched each tool, we also worked to define and categorize them based on the recommended use or purpose within the early intervention process. Although some tools may have the potential to be used in different ways, we have been intentional about using research to make recommendations about the purpose for each tool. The categories chosen by the R2PP team include evaluation. These are tools capable of producing a standard score for use and eligibility. Family-directed assessment, tools that address the concerns, resources, priorities, and interests of a family. Ongoing child assessment are tools that measure developmental status of a child across time and domain. Screening tools are those that provide a brief snapshot of a child's development in order to determine need for additional assessment. And then lastly, the supplemental category are for those tools that provide additional information to support decisions about eligibility, developmental status, intervention planning, or family considerations. Here you will see additional detail regarding the color coding that is associated with the rating for each tool. Remember that these categories were based on the average rating obtained from the review of the 6 factors of the hexagon tool in respect to use in our Wisconsin Birth to 3 program. Green tools are those that were most highly rated and are considered approved as they were found to have sufficient evidence and fit. Yellow tools are those that had adequate evidence or fit, but were found to have certain conditions for their use. And then there were several tools that were found to be lacking these factors and are red. These are not recommended for use in the Wisconsin Bertha 3 program. This is a screenshot of the top of the spreadsheet. The full list can be found on the CESA 5 resource webpage. The version that we are sharing is sorted alphabetically based on the color rating of the tool. Don't worry if this format doesn't speak to you. We will be continuing to develop resources that will help you in understanding and using this list. It's critical that the next steps be informed by feedback from all of you. As you can see, each tool has an abbreviated name and a full name. Oftentimes, we use that abbreviated name to describe tools, so we thought it was important to include both. And then you will see the categories that were described: the description, the domain, the purpose, the rating and the color coding, the caution category, and the strengths and weaknesses. We're happy to answer questions you may have about the list and all of its parts. As always, you can submit a PD request on the resource website or send us an email. Remember that this tool is intended to be adaptable, meaning that it can and will grow and change as tools change and as we get more information from all of you. Thank you for your time.